Spirit of the waters, hear my cry. My friend, my blood, we ate together.
They still speak of it in the cocoa farms around Eco-Tunnel, how two women once turned a whole village upside down with nothing but their voices. Long ago, when the Harmattan wind still carried the smell of roasted locust beans and the sacred groove of Owan hummed with bees the color of gold, there lived two singers whose names were joined together like twins, Omoteyo and Adunni. Omoteyo was the daughter of the late Baal, born with hair the color of overripe palm fruit and a voice that could make the river pause in its flowing. When she sang, even the Agungun masquerades were said to sway gently instead of stamping the earth. The young men brought her yams just to hear her hum while pounding. The old women said her throat had been kissed by Owan herself. Adunni came from the other side of the stream, from the family of blacksmiths. Her skin was the deep black of charcoal after the fire dies, and her voice was thunder wrapped in velvet. When Adunni sang, pregnant women felt their babies dance, and barren women wept because they suddenly remembered joy. The men said her voice could bend iron before it reached the forge. For many years, the two women sang together at every festival, Owan, Agungun, New Yam, even funerals. Their voices braided so perfectly that people said one soul had been shared between two bodies. They called them Ejire-Meji, the twin corals. Then came the year the king of Eco-Tunnel died without a son. According to custom, the next Baal had to be chosen during the festival of Owan, and the goddess herself would show the sign through the great song. Whoever sang the song that made the river rise highest, whoever moved the goddess to pour the most water from her calabash, would have her husband or brother or father crowned as king. Omoteyo's husband, Babatunde, was gentle and kind, but not born for leadership. Adunni's elder brother, Olajide, was brave and clever and was the leader of the hunters. Though the bond between the two women was strong and unwavering, but the thought of becoming royalty rings the loudest bell in their heads. Both women wanted their family to wear the coral beads. Each wanted more respect, power, and wealth. Soon the rehearsals began. Omoteyo locked herself in the shrine for 7 days, offering cola and gin, calling on the spirit of water to hear her cries until her voice became water itself. Adunni went to the forge every midnight. She sang into the fire while her brother hammered iron, claiming the ancestors of iron would lend her strength. Whispers started. The two friends who used to be more than sisters are now seen drifting apart in the quest to attain the royal seat. The village split like a rotten cola nut, each women claiming their supporters. On the morning of the festival, the entire town gathered on the riverbank. 16 priests in white, 7 virgins carrying calabashes, drummers so old their wrists were thin as raffia. Children climbed trees. Even the madman, Bida, stopped rolling in the dust to watch. The rule was clear. Each woman would sing one ancient praise song to Owan. No more, no less. The river itself would choose. Adunni sang first. She stepped forward in white and gold attire that swallowed light. When she opened her mouth, the sky cracked. Her voice rolled like 1,000 gourds of palm wine poured at once. The river rose, foaming white, almost touching the priest's ankles. Fish leapt out as if trying to kiss her feet. The crowd roared. Olajide's supporters began to dance, while the song was still leaving her throat. Then came silence, so deep you could hear ants marching. Omoteyo walked to the front. She wore her favorite color blue, her hair uncovered and wild. She did not look at Adunni. She looked only at the river, and she began to sing. But to the surprise of everyone, she did not sing the required praise song. Instead, she sang the forbidden one, the lament of Owan when she was betrayed by her best friend, the song no woman had dared sing in 300 years because it was said to break the heart of the goddess herself. Every eyes turned at each other in dismay. Her voice was soft at first, almost a whisper, the kind a mother uses when her child is sick. Then it grew and grew until it seemed to come not from her throat, but from the roots of every tree, from the womb of every woman who had ever been betrayed. She sang of friendship turned to poison. She sang of pride that eats love. She sang of two voices that once danced together now in a competition against each other. Tears poured down every face, man, woman, child, even the priests. The drummers forgot to drum. The virgins dropped their calabashes. And the river, did not just rise.
It wept.
Great sheets of water climbed the bank like transparent walls, higher than any priest had ever seen, higher than the Irako tree, until the whole village stood ankle-deep, knee-deep, waist-deep in the tears of Owen. Then, just when it seemed the village would be swept away, the water stopped, trembling. In that trembling silence, Omoteyo turned to Adunni. Their eyes entangled to each other. Adunni's lips shook. The thunder in her throat was gone. She looked small, suddenly, like a child who has broken her mother's favorite calabash. Omoteyo stretched out her hand. Without a word, Adunni took it. Together, still holding hands, they began to sing, not the praise song, not the lament, but the old duet they had sung as girls, the one about two friends who share even the last piece of dodo. Their voices rose together again, braided the way they were born to be. And the river sang with them. The water swirled, forming the sacred circle of Owen. From its center rose a single coral bead, glowing like fire. It floated through the air and settled, not on Babatunde's head, not on Olajide's, but between the two women, hanging in the air as if unsure which neck to choose. Then, gently, it split in two. One half drifted to Omoteyo, one half to Adunni. The priests gasped. Such a thing had never happened. That night the elders met until the cocks crowed twice. In the end they did something no village had ever done. They crowned two rulers, sister queens, who would rule together, wear the coral beads and govern Iko-Tunail. The next morning, Omoteyo and Adunni went to the river to give thanks. They say if you pass that spot early, when the mist still clings to the water, you can hear two voices singing in perfect harmony. And sometimes, when proud friends quarrel in Iko-Tunail, the old people simply say, "Go and bathe in the river." Owen does not like broken songs. When this story is told in the village square today, it takes about 20 minutes, especially if Mama Iridi is the one telling it, because she pauses to act out the weeping of the river and makes all the children cry too, just a little, so the lesson will stay in their hearts.
Moral lesson. No crown, no position, no victory is worth more than the sister/friend your soul chose before the world gave you titles. The river rose highest not for the loudest voice but for the moment the two women remembered that their voices were born to complete each other, not to destroy each other. So the lesson passed down to every child in the village is this: never let competition kill the love that raised you. Never let ambition cut the rope that tied your destinies together. When you win at the cost of the person who once shared her last piece of dodo with you, you have already lost everything that matters. Or, as the grandmothers put it while fanning themselves under the Irako tree, if you raise your voice against your sister to become queen, even if the crown fits, your head will never rest easy on the pillow. That is the moral the river itself sang that day, and it still sings it whenever two friends begin to quarrel over things that will one day turn to dust.